One of the things that all my witch friends have been talking about is that now that it's October and the veil between the worlds is thin, there's been a lot more spirit activity. I'm going to show you how to cast a spell with any pumpkin for shielding your home against toxic energy and toxic spirits and any astral nasties that might be passing by your house. Game on, witches. By the end of this video, you're going to know how to enchant any pumpkin to radiate protective energy all around your home and protect it from any unwanted entities or unwelcome spirits from coming in and messing up all the good vibes that you've worked on so hard in your home. This is the kind of simple magic that you'll find in my Llewellyn's Little Book of Halloween. I've written hundreds of spells, meditations, and formulas used by witches worldwide, and this is one that you're definitely going to want to check out. If you're new here and interested in spells, witchy tips, and tricks for living your magical life, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so that you won't miss any of my weekly videos. During the time of the thin veil, which definitely covers most of October on into November, we really notice a lot more spirit activity, like wandering spirits, traveling elementals, that you might not want dropping in unannounced. This is the time of the year when the realms of the spirit and the material world are coexisting to a certain degree. We call it a veil because it's thin and it's wispy, allowing energies and spirits and intentions and all kinds of things to travel through back and forth very easily during this time of the year. So of course what that means is you're going to want to bump up your wards, keep your protections high, and do all the things that you need to do to keep the energies of your home, your safe space, your sacred space, safe from any outside forces that might be in the area. You're going to have pumpkins on your porch anyway, so you might as well just break out the magic and get those guys working for your protection. Pumpkins are great used in spells for love and spells for money and prosperity. But there's one more thing that pumpkins are really great for, and that is, you guessed it, protection magic against spirits and bad vibrations, especially when we're talking about low vibrational or toxic spiritual entities. A pumpkin does double time though. It also welcomes in and invites those helpful spiritual entities that might also be traveling around this time of the year as well. So your pumpkin can act kind of as a spiritual bouncer, if you will, only letting those energies who are on the guest list to come inside or to be around your space and on your property, and sending all those other energies that you don't want in your home packing. Now, you can do this spell anytime in the month of October that you want to. Any day of the week, any moon phase that you want, because protection magic is one of those things that you can usually crank out pretty much any time that you need it. But we've got a nice full moon this month, so I'm going to work in that full moon energy into this spell and really give this pumpkin a good charge. Okay. So when I went to the store to get a pumpkin, I thought I was just going to grab a small pumpkin for this spell because I knew I wanted to be shifting it around and everything. But as you guys know, I'm a girl with an eye for a bargain, and those tiny pumpkins were a lot more expensive than this big guy. So I snatched this one right up. It was under $3, so of course I had to get it. So for this spell, of course, you're going to need a pumpkin. Any pumpkin will do. It doesn't have to be a big, gigantic one like this. You're going to need a paper plate to set your pumpkin on. I get them after Halloween. I get them for half price or less, and I put them away for Halloween the following year. A napkin, and again, you don't have to use my cool napkin. Any napkin will do. You're going to want a mixture of 1 cup of water to 1 tablespoon of vinegar. And this is to bless and clean your pumpkin and help to charge it up. You're going to want a permanent marker with one of these kind of size tips for marking your pumpkin with a magical symbol. Very, very simple and easy. And last but not least, you're going to want some cloves. I'm using whole cloves because that's what I have on hand, but you can also use ground cloves. You don't really need that many. I've just got a few here. And I'm just throwing them in my little cauldron to take outside with me. I I'm going to bless these with my intentions. Clove is a really good herb to use to keep away negative entities. So this is something that you can definitely use during the whole season or any time that you feel like you need it. So I just kind of fill it with my intention, awaken that energy within the clove that that's what I want it to do. So the only other thing that you need for this spell is your intention. And this is a really quick, easy spell to do. Let's venture outside. I'm going to grab my pumpkin and let's get this spell underway. I know that you love that this spell uses simple ingredients that you have around your house. It makes it really easy, doesn't it? So as you prepare, you're going to get your water and vinegar mix and simply use the napkin, or you can use a washcloth or whatever that you want, and use it to wash your pumpkin. It's always a good practice to wash your pumpkin anyway. By using the vinegar, you add extra protective powers to the pumpkin. Vinegar disrupts low vibrational entities. So it not only spiritually cleans your pumpkin, but it also helps to program your pumpkin and awaken those protective energies to let the pumpkin know this is the kind of magic that will be working. And yeah, get the whole pumpkin, and the bottom of the part of the pumpkin is where you're going to put the cloves, so you definitely want to make sure you clean that too. Now you're going to grab your marker, your permanent marker, and draw a pentagram on the bottom of the pumpkin. And as you can see, it actually has kind of a nice little circle there that's perfect for drawing your pentagram in. So you don't have to be a talented artist to do this. Anybody can do this. The pentagram is a very protective symbol that's been used for centuries. We use it in witchcraft a lot as a protective symbol. So hold the pumpkin in your arms under the moonlight and charge it with its duty using the following incantation. As you do the incantation, you want to think about filling the pumpkin with protective energy. Precious pumpkin, watch over my home, protecting from bane all you behold. By the power of the pale moonlight, shield us from harm, both day and night. So mote it be. And now you can replace your pumpkin. Now there's the little plate that we're going to use. You can also use cardboard, a little square cardboard. You can use a board, whatever you want to put it on, just don't set it on concrete. And you're going to get your cloves together. I've just got a little handful of cloves, as you can see. You could also use ground cloves. I want to reiterate, it's a relatively flexible spell. You're just going to set those in the center of the plate. You don't want those to pierce the pumpkin at all, but there's that little divot in the bottom of the pumpkin where the pentagram is. It kind of goes up, and that's kind of a hollow space when you set it down. So you want to kind of push all of those cloves underneath that as you set it down, and make sure that it's in that little divot underneath your pumpkin, and that will help to charge it with protective energy. Clove is one of the most protective herbs in your kitchen. Now your pumpkin will guard against any negative spirits or entities that might be traveling, but will welcome any of your beloved dead or helpful spirits who are in tune with your higher good. When you decide that it's time to carve your pumpkin, you can do that. If you want to enchant an already carved pumpkin, you can do that too. I like to wait to carve my pumpkins a little bit later in October. Also, the reason for the paper plate is twofold. If you want to, you can write the incantation on the bottom of the paper plate just to add a little extra energy to your spell. You also want to set your pumpkins on something other than concrete. If you set your pumpkins on concrete, they're more likely to rot. You can set them on a board. I started using paper plates because it was just handy, and I've tested it. It's witch tested and witch approved. It works. So little paper plate, and if you want to throw those in your Samhain fire, you certainly can at the on Samhain night because, of course, your pumpkins are done at that point. Also, if you're waiting to carve your pumpkin until after you have done this spell, think about this. Save some of those seeds out and let them dry out and save them for future magic because you can use pumpkin seeds for all kinds of magic. Once you've carved your pumpkin, take those cloves off the plate, put them inside of the pumpkin. And if you want to, on Samhain night, you can also sprinkle some cloves on top of your candle when you go to light it inside of that pumpkin. Do you have pumpkins on your porch yet? Let me know in the comments. So the thing about pumpkins is they've been used to protect against negative energies and entities and welcome in helpful spirits since colonial times. And the first jack-o'-lanterns, of course, in Europe were carved from turnips because turnips are an old world food and pumpkins are a new world food. When many Europeans, especially the Irish, migrated here to America, they brought a lot of their Halloween and Samhain traditions with them. One of them was the jack-o'-lantern, and they discovered that pumpkins were much easier to carve because they're already hollow and they were bigger, so there was lots of space to work on, and they just embraced the pumpkin and began using that instead of turnips. So turnips were originally used as this protective and welcoming energy, this spiritual bouncer energy. But those pumpkins were just a new world substitution that made perfect sense. And I think that you'll find that it works quite well for this spell. If you think you'll be using this spell, make sure you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. Ring the bell, because when you do that, you'll be notified when I post new weekly videos so you won't miss anything. Hey, and share this video out with anybody that you think might benefit from having a witchy spiritual guardian on their front porch. Are you interested in learning how to carve a turnip into the creepiest jack-o'-lantern that you've ever seen? Because I have a great method for doing it. I've got 2 turnips downstairs in my refrigerator right now that I am going to be carving into jack-o'-lanterns this year. If you guys are interested, let me know, and maybe I'll do a video and post it so you guys can see how to do that yourself. It's pretty cool. Now you know how to turn that pumpkin on your porch into a witchy guardian for your porch this Samhain season. I'll be sharing photos of my Samhain on Instagram and Facebook, and I've got a Pinterest board that's all about Samhain. So if you guys are interested, please be sure to find me out there. I'm at Mickie Mueller across all my social media. And yeah, definitely check me out on Instagram. I'm pretty active on there. On Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. Feel free to tag me on social media in your enchanted pumpkin pictures too, because I would love to see your pumpkins. Here's a couple more videos for you guys. I hope that you enjoy them. I will see you next week, and remember, as always, to be your magic. Bye, everybody.